We are live on my channel.
And it says we are live on mine as well. I think my whoosh takes a little longer.
I
So,
think, yeah, because I'm seeing it go out, you're seeing it broadcast. That's the
yeah.
big difference. There we go. All right, you are live on my end. Okay, you made noise,
We're making
and we
noise.
made noise. Perfect. Rather than spending a morning making no noise and then finding out later. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another writing stream. And we are, yeah, we should introduce ourselves. Holy shit, you already made it back. I didn't even hear you leave. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Duncan. Thank you, Travis Leg. You're the best around.
All right. I finally found the right one. So now I'm actually seeing what's going on. And now my face won't look so confused.
Well, that's
Like I'm,
good. I like when your face is less confused.
yes, yes, so do I. So, all right, let's do these introductions so that people aren't like, who are these crazy people?
Okay, you go first.
All right, my name is Dana Gollin. I am a writer of things, specifically sexy, spicy time things under my pen name Ava Fox. And today I'm just here. I'm fighting off whatever is trying to grow and I'm making some magic soup because I don't want to succumb to the stupid viruses that are being spread around right now.
Although soup wouldn't fight a virus.
No, but the all of the vitamins and nummies.
Just being an asshole.
I know.
Um, but I am Sarah Scharnweber, and I mostly write horror. Sometimes I write other stuff, and then sometimes I get hired to write things. And we don't usually talk about those very much because I don't even know when
And
they come out.
I'm all NDAs are a real thing,
Well, see, the thing is that I end up writing, and they're like, "We'll let you know when it comes out," and then either they don't or I miss it.
right?
I don't know which one it is. I'm not going to blame anyone else because it definitely could be that they told me and I just missed it.
Yeah.
Um, like some of the stuff I write for the company that Travis writes for. Uh, it's a definite possibility he tells me things and I don't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, first spouse ever to do that.
I
Right.
oh my gosh, speaking of spouses, um so I'm like I cleaned up my little table here this morning because first I did my meal prep at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I even made some little videos to share with like people eventually. But it was kind of silly. And then I started cleaning up my table so that we could actually get this stuff done. And I came across like this medical information that the corporation I work for sends you out this information. And I'm sitting here and I was looking at it and I'm like trying to like, I don't know, summon the demons that can help me to translate what the hell this says. And I literally laughed at myself because I live in an area where predominantly people are getting married when they're young. Okay.
Mhm.
Like we're talking between 18 and 25. Everybody's getting married and doing their thing. And I laughed at myself because I too was like 21-ish when I got married the first time. And I married a man, and I just assumed men knew all of these things. So my first thought this morning was, oh, I need to find a man who can translate whatever this document says to me. And I thought it was funny because my first spouse can tell me like intricate details about nuclear engineering, but he most definitely couldn't translate medical jargon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is a an alley that you have to have trained in mostly
Mm-hmm.
to like whether I mean you can train yourself, but like you have to have done some practice on because it's not nothing about the way they name things medically and how they diagnose and stuff, nothing that is inherent in how we do anything else.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same process that you do for X.
Right. Yeah.
And that's usually when something's pretty easy. It's like, oh no, we just do that the same way that you would do it if you were doing this. And so it's an easy transition. But because there isn't like a equal thing that you can just place into that spot and just do the same thing, it
Yeah.
makes it harder.
Yeah. It's kind of like I kind of looked at it as like me trying to teach myself how to format for ebooks. Um, I write stories, I tell stories, and never in my wildest dreams did I thought that I would ever need the knowledge of formatting for an ebook. Which I think that's what played into the the me laughing at myself part because here I had these expectations and here I am like all these years later like
Well, for
dumb.
reference, I think formatting is so much fun.
Well, good. Then I will, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I will send you the things I need formatted and and I will contribute to your Duncan addiction.
I might have a lot of questions because I know what I like, but yeah, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, but I like the way that you do it because I like how you leave it so that the one page is blank and all the new pages start on like the right
Yeah,
hand side.
that's one of my big things is that new chapters have to start on the right.
Right,
So sometimes this page will be blank and sometimes it won't, but the new
right,
chapter has to start on the right.
right.
But like that's one of my things about how I feel like a book looks professionally laid out. And
Yeah,
that might be all in my head that makes it feel that, but to me it feels that way.
yeah. But I like it. I like it. So that's all that matters. You like it.
Right,
I like it.
right.
But yeah, so yeah, so it's been interesting. And I don't know how much of it is like me just sitting here in the middle of the night thinking about ridiculous things
Right.
or um
Yeah, because that's definitely a thing.
yeah, or like how like when you're not when you're getting kind of yucky and it's growing on and then you start like I don't know if it's a fever dream or if it's like I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be like the nose blowing authors today. That's
Yes.
what we're gonna be.
Yes. Yeah. I have a roll of toilet paper for mine, but
Yeah.
if it works for
And
my booty hole, it works for my nose.
hey, and we've already established that I'm Fancy Pants McGee.
Uh-huh. With the tissues.
Please hand me my Kleenex.
Yeah, I don't know how about these fancy people with their
Not Kleenexes.
Kleenex.
They're puffs with lotion. So,
Well then.
all right,
All right, so I guess it's probably time to start a sprint.
let's
Um,
do it.
all right, so 20 minutes and then we'll be back in 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. It's time. I need to change the song on that because that's the one we used last week. There aren't a million songs, but we could.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 10 of them or something. We can do a little bit of rotating,
Yeah, we might as well.
right?
I did finally find something that I wanted to work on.
Well, that's
Uh,
good.
yes, I realized that it's February 1st. Um,
It is.
Traditionally, I absolutely despise this day. I shouldn't though. Um, I shouldn't, so I won't. So I decided that I needed to go over my planner to figure out what days I have off. Because I do have that my website's going to be live this month, and I have that anthology. Um, and so I looked at my planner and I was like, oh, I should like actually do some things to like celebrate the fact that I'm becoming
Right.
a productive writer again.
Right.
I know. Yesterday, I felt really productive. I was like, oh my gosh, look, I'm getting all the things done.
Yeah, I only got 71 words that round, but I'm wandering into something that's going to move really fast. I just have to like
Oh,
actually get there.
that's what, yeah, I was going to show you. We were talking about like speed and accuracy and everything. So I had a scene that I was working on, and oh, now I'm not going to be able to find it. I actually like drew a picture to make sure that all of the motions and stuff. Oh, you know what? It's probably still upstairs. Yeah. I have a notebook that I keep downstairs, and then I have a
Mhm.
notebook that I keep at the foot of my bed.
Yeah.
Um, so this picture that I drew was basically the room and all of the small spaces and all of the people that were in it. Um, because the last thing I need is to have like, hey, in chapter 2, paragraph 8, this isn't physically possible because that person doesn't exist.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm putting my background back up because my messy background is distracting me.
I'm sorry.
And we still have like blankets hung on the window from when it was like -25 out.
Yeah,
So, because these windows leak. So,
yeah. That's one thing. I live in an older house, but the windows are they're good. They must. I think they have all been replaced.
oh, yeah, no, ours are original windows.
Yeah,
Definitely original windows.
I'd have to
So,
show them to you.
yeah, ours have, um, my mom's house has the same problem is that when you have a house that's over 100 years old, the wood in some places will harden to the point where you can't drill into it.
Uh-huh.
And that's Ty's here and he's making the Great Fire go off, and the Great Fire's a really long clip and it went off twice.
What did you get in your eye other
I'm
than your
waiting for this
finger?
to stop because it's really
Oh,
loud.
oh, okay. I'm like, what did you do? Um,
Hi Ty, how you doing? Thanks for coming. uh, that's one of my longest clips. I think the longest clip I have is the I think there's a long Free the Mahi Mahi clip that's longer than that one.
uh-huh.
But I have like a short one that's just them yelling Free the Mahi Mahi. But
Oh,
there's a long one too.
oh, funny.
Yeah, I actually spent the better part of a day watching Biodome and collecting clips so that I could have clips on my stream of Biodome because CJ thinks that Biodome is the worst Pauly Shore movie. In the Army Now exists with Andy Dick, and she thinks Biodome is the
Is the
worst Pauly
worst.
Shore movie. She's wrong on so many levels. First of all, Biodome's top 3.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the best one, hands down, is Encino Man. I will not hear notes on that. Um, And some people have opinions on number two being son-in-law. I think son-in-law is overrated. But In the Army Now is garbage. And then the one that's 12 Angry Men, that one's not great either. It's okay, but it's not great. So yeah.
So, okay.
Ty said no
Son-in-law.
lies detected, just got the email from Maury.
The son-in-law one, that's the one where they're on the farm.
Yeah, that's the one that has Tiffany Amber Thiessen in it, I think.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then
Which I
Encino
think is
Man.
what makes people like that one. Is
Okay.
because she's very cute and she's super good. Like it's fine. But
Right.
but it's just not I don't think it's as well written
Right.
as some of the other ones. And mind you, I understand they're Pauly Shore movies. None of them are Oscar level films. Like that's not the point of a Pauly
Right.
Shore movie. I don't think he thought that was the point of a Pauly Shore movie.
Right, right. I am not a Pauly Shore gives me migraines and motion sickness.
Oh,
and I don't
love Pauly
typically
Shore.
suffer from either one of them. What?
I love Pauly Shore.
I'm not saying that he's bad. He's just like a lot. He's like Hammy the squirrel. Like you just
He is a lot.
yeah, I can take him in short periods of time. So I can't honestly say that I've seen an entire movie that he's been in from start to finish.
Biodome's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Encino Man is super good, but Encino Man is, I would argue Encino Man is a Brendan Fraser movie that highly uses Pauly Shore.
Right. And that's what I was going to ask you.
So
whether,
it hits different.
Yeah, because Encino Man has Brendan Fraser in it, and they're both like thawed out cavemen, right?
No, Pauly Shore is one of the kids who finds it.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
Pauly Shore and Sean Astin. So whether you want to go the Goonies route and go with Sean Astin, needing an asthma inhaler, or you want to go the Samwise Gamgee route, it's up to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Whichever Sean Astin you want to.
You know what? I actually saw him like 2 years ago. I saw him in this tiny little town. They were having the Apple Blossom Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like the Grand Master or whatever.
The Grand Marshal or whatever they do for.
Yeah, gets to ride in the car and wave at all the people. And my friend and I were down there, and all of a sudden I was like, "It's Sam! It's Sam! It's Rudy! It's Rudy!"
See, and that's the thing is like, and the funny thing to me is I think that's Patty Duke's kid. I'm not old enough to think that, just for reference. That is my parents' fault.
Oh my
But
goodness.
also, isn't his dad the original Gomez? Yeah. Yeah, John Astin's the original Gomez, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Patty Duke and the original Gomez
got
made
together and made Samwise
Gamgee.
Gamgee. Yeah.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I was 99% sure, but it was one of those things where it was like in the back of my head, it was like, maybe you're dumb. So I did look it up, but yeah.
No.
And Ty has confirmed as well. And Ty knows more of that kind of stuff, probably.
Yeah.
Like my brain is loose.
You have all the wisdom of all of the strange.
It's wisdom. It's wisdom to know who Sean Astin's parents are.
Those are things I didn't know. I'm sure there's something in my brain that I can conjure up that you don't know, that I know, that you don't know.
I'm certain there is. Certain there is, because there's tons of stuff that you have an interest in that I wouldn't.
Yeah. But you have an interest in, and I think you're absolutely crazy.
I had to hit my Peter Mon button because Peter Mon said sucky, sucky, fucky, fucky, do what you want to do, baby, one time and on one of his videos, and now I have a button for it, and it makes me happy every time. Yeah. Oh, and my Stream Elements is broken, so it says check me out here, and it's just stars. I have a link tree down below if you're interested, but yeah.
She has all the cool stuff.
Oh, Lord.
I did watch, speaking of things that I am curious and interested in that you don't particularly care about, I did watch like 5 minutes of that stream that you shared the other day. That stream that I'm not going to mention, but you shared it. And so I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I have feelings. I don't really have feelings. I have opinions.
What stream
So
are you talking about? Oh, that I shared in our group chat.
yeah.
Oh,
When I was sitting there waiting for the car wash.
yeah.
Yeah, I started watching that this morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I
Just
didn't even know it had happened.
yeah, I was
I'm
like,
for those of you who don't know in the chat, I am anti woo woo, so I will make fun of woo woo as much as I can in my private life. I try not to do it publicly because you know people have a right to believe whatever they want to believe. But
yeah.
if you say that you believe something to me and I think it's ridiculous, don't expect me to manage my emotions there. I'm not good at it. I might laugh about it. Like I might just laugh. Like I can't help it. I try to be respectful, but sometimes when you tell me that you can taste ghost food, did you guys know Claire Gustance was a thing and it's tasting ghost food?
Because like, so wait a minute. Is she insinuating that when I die, I'm still gonna have to meal prep and cook and be
Oh, we better
careful?
not fucking have to.
No. When I leave this carcass behind, I don't want to have to worry about my heart killing my kidneys. I want to eat whatever the fuck I want to eat.
It is, quote, the paranormal ability to taste a substance without putting anything in one's mouth. It is claimed that those who possess this ability are able to perceive the essence of a substance from the spiritual or ethereal realms through taste.
You know, I'm going straight to like ghost bukkake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just, I don't like, I mean, okay. So this is not a ghost thing, but every now and again, my great grandfather smoked a pipe. Okay. And then he had his first major heart attack and he had to stop smoking his pipe. But he still had a can of pipe tobacco. And that smell resonates with me. So every now and again, I think what is happening is my brain really misses said great grandfather's pipe tobacco. And so I will get a hint of it and I'll be like, does anybody else smell this or whatever? But I think that's a memory, like,
Yeah, they
because
say
your
that,
brain does crazy things.
and they say that smell is the closest attached to your memory. So I think what happens in those instances is that we pick up pieces of a smell, like how when you hear a ghost box running through channels, it picks up pieces of words. And it does the same thing in your brain because our brains like patterns, tries to find a pattern. That smell reminds me of this. That smell reminds me of this. That smell reminds me of this.
Right.
And I think it's the same function. And it's to try to help you suss out whether or not there's danger.
Right.
You know, because like one fire might smell different from another fire, but there's still that underlying burning smell
Right.
that you want to be able to recognize for your safety.
Yeah. Like campfire doesn't smells good, whereas house fire is not good. That's bad.
Right.
Like,
right.
yeah.
But the underlying something's on fire smell is causes an alarm in your brain.
Right.
Because your brain wants to make sure you're not on fire or in a place that's on fire.
Right. Right.
So
now,
it triggers.
When it comes to food, occasionally I will cook something that like my grandma makes like the best menudo ever.
Mm-hmm.
I make what tastes like dirty sock water. I don't know how else to describe it. But every now and again, I'll go to a restaurant and they'll have good menudo or good pozole or something, and I'll taste it, and immediately I think of my grandma, right? There's definitely that emotional connection. I have never just been sitting, driving, riding, whatever, and been like, oh, Grandma just put a cookie in my mouth. Oh. Because well, One, I don't think that she would ever do that to me because it would probably happen while I was driving and I'd wreck the car.
Right?
But two, I don't think that dead people are cooking in the afterlife. I just don't think that it's happening. Why? Why would they?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't I just don't that is the first time I've heard of that, and that was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
That
yeah. I I was a little taken back because recently I heard somebody who was predicting potential situations that could happen because their spiritual guides were warning them about these things that might happen, and then just a few seconds later they admitted that they were paying close attention to the weather and what was
right.
going on.
Right.
And I was like, well, meteorologist is just a formal way of saying wizard.
Well, here's the thing. Um you Lots of people subconsciously pick up on that stuff and don't realize they're doing it. So they think that it's magic, but it's not magic. Like I used
Right,
to think I could fucking read people's minds. No, I'm just really good at cold reading.
right.
I know when I walk in a room if I should not bring up a topic. Like I'm really good at cold reading people. Um Probably as a defense mechanism for
Mhm.
my own stupidity. But like that's what I'm doing. I'm cold reading.
Yeah, yeah,
Um I wish I could slice it some other way, but that's it.
yeah,
And if you have accidentally done it, you will recognize when someone else is doing it, unfortunately,
yeah,
which is a little bit of a curse,
yeah.
especially because I like ghost hunting shows because they're fun.
I like ghost hunting shows too. I think I would really enjoy. Well, it's no big secret. I do believe there is more than this. There has to be. Um, I don't necessarily believe that every ghost hunter and every weird box sitting on the floor throwing out random words is my loved one being like, run. Because if one of my loved ones were to, the message from my loved one is run, I'd be like, that ain't somebody who knows me. Okay. One, Dana doesn't run. Okay.
Right.
Dana don't run anywhere. I will trip you and sacrifice you to whatever is chasing us,
Right.
but Dana doesn't run. So I like, yeah. So I don't know. And then I'm like, people are like, oh, my spirit guide, my angel, my this, my that. And it's like, well, if you believe in all those good things, then you have to believe in the bad things too. And what's saying that it's not one of the bad things that are manipulating you into doing
Know that
and
you have to
saying,
believe in bad things if you believe in good things.
really?
I don't know why you would need that. Why?
I don't know. I guess you just, I don't know. I guess for me, it just makes sense that if there are good things in the world, there has to be bad things because that makes balance.
Who said that there has to be balance? Entropy is
I
chaos.
balance, okay.
But the universe doesn't like balance.
Well,
The
maybe
universe
that's
likes chaos.
perhaps that's why the universe and I don't necessarily get along very well.
That might be it. That might be the problem.
Could be the problem. Look, I don't need my meds anymore. We've just solved all of the
Right?
issues. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've never really taken into consideration why. I just don't know. I think it's part of that. Like that's what you're taught the whole of your life is that there's good and there's bad, and that's the way that it works. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the end all
I
be all.
I I don't have evidence for this right now because I'm not going to do the legwork to go find it all, but I do think that that actually stems from us living in a Judeo-Christian country and being raised in a place where that is taught to us. But I don't think that is inherent to other belief systems. I think that's a Judeo-Christian thing.
I never thought about it. It's definitely something that we can
Yeah,
dive
I don't
into.
know that I don't know that the balance between good and evil exists in all belief structures. I don't want to say religions because we're not necessarily talking about religions because it's just about the belief
Right.
structure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know if it's present in all. I don't think it is, but I don't know. Because also I was also raised in America, so we do have a little bit of a buffer on the rest of the world here. So
Yeah.
our knowledge is based on what other people tell us and what we can read and stuff. But
Yeah. I'm like, now I'm curious. Now I'm curious.
yeah, I feel like that's going to be a long research to be able to.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, and neither are you. So we have years in order
Right, but I'm
to
saying like I'm
meme
not doing
each
that
other
now
back and
because
forth.
that's I don't think I think that's a longer research than like do it during a sprint.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think there's more to it than that.
We can't say, "Hey Google, who's Sean Austin's parents?"
Right, right. Is John Aston Gomez Adams? I think that's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Because I remembered his dad's name and I was 99% sure I knew who that was. But sometimes you just gotta double check yourself before you
Yeah.
wreck yourself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you don't want to wreck yourself. I didn't say that. That was who was that? LL Cool J? I
Perhaps.
think it was.
See, this is the kind of fast investigation that we can do.
No, it's Cube. I don't know how I thought that was Cool J, but it's Ice Cube.
Yeah, well, I knew it was a rapper. So
I've seen Ice Cube in
in co-
concert. I've
oh
probably
really?
seen him play. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well,
And I didn't know that. But I've
like
probably seen him play it.
I have been to one concert in my entire life. I was I was 16.
That's
Uh,
wild to me.
yeah, yeah. I was 16 years old. I went to the Garth Brooks concert in Tucson, Arizona with my mom and my stepdad. And I think that my uncle went with us. I can't remember though. That part I don't remember. And I never went and saw another concert again because I couldn't hear for a week.
You're supposed to wear earplugs to a concert.
Yeah, nobody told me that. They were like,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you were at a country concert, so a lot of times that corner of people believes that we don't have to protect our hearing long term.
yeah,
Metalheads are the same way. I don't know what it is between the metalheads, I think, do it because they're too tough, and the country music people think I think they do it because the man can't make them.
right.
Like I think there's a different reason for each of them, but,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
both do it. And it's
yeah.
like, but you're gonna be old and deaf.
Yes, yes.
It's not worth it.
And that's like for a week I yelled at everybody. So here
Yeah.
not only could I not hear, but now, I'm like being rude to people around me because I can't hear because and it was a fun like it was a good experience. But I learned right then and there that if I'm going to go listen to music, I want to do something like music in the park. Um I don't I yet as not exciting as this sounds, I'm definitely not like a concert person. I listen to like my friends and I will go to like local little dives and whatnot and listen to like local bands and stuff. But
Oh, see,
even
I would rather
then,
go to a real concert than go to a bar and watch a band.
yeah, but like even then, like I have to throw back some drinks
Yeah.
and in order to enjoy it because then you have like too many people packed into a very small space and everything is way too loud. So I typically only stay for like I don't know
That
45 minutes to an hour maybe.
from 21 to 30, all of my friends were in local bands.
Mhm.
So I probably went to 3 shows a week for a large portion of that time.
Oh God, I couldn't.
So, and those are local band shows. And then from 15, I think was the first time my friend, like I got in a car with friends and drove to Milwaukee or Madison or whatever and saw a show.
Yeah.
From then until I was in my mid-20s, I probably went to a professional concert once a month. At least.
That's
At
wow.
least. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like my
No.
first concert was New Kids on the Block when I was 11. But I've seen all kinds of stuff since then.
If I could have gone to a New Kids, if I like, if my mother could afford to send me to a New Kids on the Block concert, I probably would have totally been just. I probably would have died right then and there because I was the girl. I had the pillows and the comforter and the sheets and the
Oh, I have a photograph somewhere. I don't know where it
yeah.
is, but I know the photo. Like I know which photo it is. Of me with like my hair in a side ponytail, wearing my New Kids on the Block shirt. Like I am going to the concert
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
photo. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And now I think back at it and I'm like, how weird was it? Like I would never encourage my daughter to like sleep in a bed with a bunch of men's faces.
It was a strange corner of
It it really
but
was.
but I would say the whole of New Kids on the Block being on my blankets is way less weird than Josh Hutcherson.
Being stuck
Because
in an
because
island.
at the beginning of the Trapped in an Island with Josh Hutcherson, she's got all this Josh Hutcherson merch, which Jenny Nicholson insists does not exist.
Yes.
And I
yes.
agree. I don't think it exists either.
No, no.
Not there might be bootleg stuff, but like there isn't officially recognized Josh Hutcherson merch like that.
Yeah.
Although like, I like Five Nights at Freddy's. I like horror. I like jump scares. I think it's fun. I don't think it's like a film, but it's fun.
Right.
So I looked up a Josh Hutcherson movie this week because he's the star of the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. But the second star in that movie is Matthew Lillard, and he replaces all concern I have for how weird it is that I looked up a Josh Hutcherson movie.
Okay.
Because I love Matthew Lillard. Although he's in Scream 7, and I have thoughts about that because they fired the other actors for supporting Palestine. And so I don't think I'm going to be seeing Scream 7 despite the fact that Matthew Lillard's in it, and that upsets me a great deal.
They have 7 screams?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but Matthew Lillard and in number 3, Sydney's half-brother is in it. He's played by Scott Foley. He's also supposed to be in 7, and they're both supposed to be dead. So, and then also, who was the other one who I just saw is also in it who's supposed to be dead? I don't remember. But yeah, so I don't know why they're bringing back a bunch of dead people in Scream 7. I guess scrambling.
Do you think that when the girl who was writing Trapped in an Island with Josh Hutcherson brought in Katniss, she was trying to like introduce
that's not Katniss.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence makes an appearance in this.
Oh, just the appeared, yeah, but like it's her versus her. Like the rival is herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like Jennifer Lawrence shows up and like talks or whatever, but like the girl who is stealing him from her is her. It's a separate. There are 2 author inserts fighting over Josh Hutcherson in that story. Oh, because that's why it's so funny. Is because they're both the same author insert. Like she's fighting herself. It's like Face Off. Except you don't get to watch Nick Cage be Nick Cage,
right?
Which is why people watch Face Off.
Yes. I don't. That was it. But because I was getting confused, like I was like, is she introducing this new female character to like introduce some plot or some kind of conflict?
Yes.
Maybe that's what
it's. But I think it's like a I want me to be with Josh Hutcherson at the end of it either way, so I guess I'll make them both me. So it doesn't matter who wins.
It's written so badly that it is mind-numbing. It's
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 so good though.
yeah,
It's so funny.
it
That
is.
one, and then she's got one about this book called Trigger Warning, which is um like there's a scene in it where a guy walks by a group of people and he hears them say like I don't remember. It's like a series of left-wing trigger words that really upset right-wingers. But like they were the way it's written, they just walked by and the people were just shouting these left-wing trigger words at each other, and that's how leftists interact with each other, I guess. Like, I'm sorry. I understand that people come from different political backgrounds, but I don't think many of us just yell our thoughts at each other in when we're together. Like with the other people who believe the same things we do. What a weird thing to do.
Right? Could you imagine if like suddenly we're like standing in the grocery store and I start like yelling out whatever random thought happens to pop into my
Right. Right.
I need couscous.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah. But the
man.
trigger warning one is very funny too, because
Okay.
it's just so strange. It's just so strange.
All right. Is that what it's called? It's called trigger
Yeah,
warning.
the book is
Okay.
called Trigger Warning. So if you look up Jenny Nicholson Trigger Warning,
All right.
I think it's called I Did It, I Found the Worst Book. I think that's what the video is called.
Okay.
But it really is just somebody who knows what they think another person believes and wrote a story based on how they think they believe that. Like it reads like they've never met someone who believed something other than what they did.
That's crazy.
Like never even met someone.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Because like
Yeah.
I've had questions and like in my writing, I've had questions about how people who live certain lifestyles that I don't live think and act
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
have
what
literally no idea what you think when you wake up in the morning and you're a homesteader.
yeah.
I don't know. I
So
don't even know where you begin.
right. So I actively went out and looked for these people and made an
Yeah.
introduction with myself and started having conversations because I'm like, hey, look, I don't want to be the asshole who just starts writing stuff and they're not accurate.
Hear the
And
stories about writers who like go on ride-alongs with cops and stuff, so they have some idea what the job is. And
yeah,
like that really is part of our job, is
right,
knowing some shit before we sit down and pretend that we know it.
right,
Because like we're not going to know the whole thing. You're not going to know what it's like to be a 40-year cop,
right,
but you might know what it's like to do a basic investigation.
right.
Like,
Or
you can get
or
that information.
you can invite a 40-year cop to come
Right,
eat
but
breakfast with you.
but you're never going to get 40 years of experience before you write
Right,
your book. You're not.
right, right,
But you can talk to people who have that experience. You can talk to people who have some
right.
experience. You can get some groundwork.
Yeah.
And it
So
was like this person was just like, nope, I've read Fox News and what they say the leftists believe, and I'm going to write a book about it. And it's like, maybe ask someone who believes it.
right, right, right,
You
right.
know?
They're like, all right, based off the 45-minute show I
Right.
just watched
Yes.
on Fox
Yep.
News, I'm going to write an entire book.
Right. And the person who hosted that show started angry. So they never were in rational world anyway.
Mm,
Because it's always one of those where it's like the
Right.
person starts off angry, so they're not trying to find real rational conversation to have.
yeah,
That's always the people who think that they've gotten educated.
yeah, yeah.
Like, no, I heard someone who was really mad about the one sentence they read one time. So that has to be enough information, right?
Yes, yes. Like
Yeah. You're an expert. You got it.
you are an expert, absolutely. So yeah, yeah, because we could go down like a whole like, oh my gosh. Unless, do you think maybe the author's like whole intention was to make those leftist people like she just wanted to write a book about how ridiculous she saw this group of individuals,
I
which
think
would
that's the idea behind it, but it is so badly written. It's so badly written.
Yeah.
It's like you can badly get to a point, but sometimes you do it so badly that you never get to the point.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
like I was never going to agree with the book trigger warning.
Right.
Even if it was written by expert level writer, I was never going to agree with it.
Right.
But it is so far removed from reality that it is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Yeah. And then there's
Yeah.
another one where she reviews a book called Troll. And that is about a guy, like a woman meets a guy online
Uh-huh.
and falls in love with him, but she doesn't. She hates him. He hates her. They're terrible to each other. It's just so weird. And it's awful too. But it's always these like niche corners where somebody hasn't done close to enough research. They don't know what they're talking about.
It's not even like a love to hate type situation or a hate to love type situation. It's just a hate. But when we're online, we're gonna be like, hey, how are you?
No, he like threatens her and shit.
Oh,
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild ride. Like it makes no sense.
so
He's like a stalker.
this isn't like a I don't want to say not Munchausen's, but a when you fall in love with your abuser or
No. And
oh,
then
okay.
there's a plot that they try to squeeze in at the very end, which is my least favorite thing, is when you go to the end of a story and then they go, surprise, whole plot line you never heard about.
Right.
Somebody gets powers that you've never referred to. Somebody gets somebody knows something there's no reason they should have known. Those kinds of things really annoy me.
Right.
If you start off the story with so and so is supposed to get some sort of powers, and then at the end they culminate and they get those powers, you set it up. So I feel fulfilled by that.
Right.
But if you get to the end and then you're like, oh shit, magic bitch. I'm like, what?
What?
Magic bitch.
Oh
like,
my
I'm
gosh.
not against magic bitch. I just need magic bitch to make sense.
Yeah. I need you to introduce your magic like over here, not over here.
Sprinkle it in early so that when it shows up later, I don't feel like you've thrown it at me out of nowhere.
Right.
Because it feels to me like you got to the end of the book and went, oh fuck, I have no idea how to end this. I guess I'll throw some magic in here.
Right. Oh man. And then magically the story ended.
Right.
Oh my god. No.
Good Lord.
So I'm definitely going to watch the trigger warning one. I will be the first one to admit that I had to have I think she was in middle school at the time. She started talking about trigger warnings, and this was right about the same time that we were all talking about trigger warnings and whether you should have trigger warnings and stuff like that. I thought when she was talking about it, I thought she was talking about gun safety classes.
Oh yeah, which is a different thing.
Totally different thing.
Yes.
However,
trigger discipline is an important part of gun safety.
Yes.
So yes, that's a whole like yes, you should learn about triggers and how to not set off a gun accidentally if you're learning about a gun. Like that's
right.
Important.
And I think
the most important one might argue.
Right. and part of me is wondering if maybe that's why they use the word trigger warning.
It is
because
it's a combination of like the pulling a switch and then the thing goes off and like it's an immediate reaction.
Right.
So like if if you've been sexually abused and you see a sexual abuse scene, you immediately might have a response.
Right.
And that's why it's called a trigger warning. It's because it's immediate.
Right.
So, but it's one of those things where, once again, people use it to be supportive and to try to like make it clear to people what they're walking into. And then some people got mad about it. And those people became obsessed with it in a way that the people who were using it weren't.
Right.
Like, and now you're more mad than it is worth for the extra sentence I wrote in my book that you either can ignore, you can never read my whole book, You
Yeah.
could skip the trigger warning, or you could just decide that I'm not the writer for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
now you're real butthurt about it, and you've now spent like 4 hours being in your feelings about me warning someone there's a sexual abuse scene in this book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
well, and here recently, like she's part of a film club, and she posted a, hey, we're watching Breakfast Club this time, this place, whatever the case may be. And she's like, trigger warnings upon request. And I was like, that movie's from the 80s. What would we possibly need?
well, I mean, if you were raised watching your parents get taken away by the cops for selling weed,
yeah,
that 40 minutes of them being stoned and having a good time might bother you.
yes,
But
yes.
here's my thing, is that as a general rule, it is your job to manage your triggers.
Yeah.
Offering to give someone a list of possible triggers is offering someone the ability to manage it themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the spirit it's intended in.
Yeah.
Is to say, like, if you need that, I'm here and I'm happy to provide it to you.
Yeah.
Like,
so she started explaining this to me, and she spent a significant amount of time watching this movie and making a list of all of the possible trigger warnings that she might need. And I commend her for it. I mean, that I'm glad that she's willing to put this kind of effort into and to be inclusive and to make sure everybody feels comfortable and everything. But there were things that she had on her list that I was sitting there thinking, like, this movie is 40 plus years old.
well,
And
there
to
are
me,
websites that collect that information too. That's another thing, especially for movies.
I know, but
it's usually pretty easy to find.
you know how
So,
you
like,
have a too much gene?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, no,
she.
I'm just saying, like, so like you can go look that up. So like people do have the ability to go do that before they go watch a movie at their house or whatever.
Yeah. So
You know,
so
like
I
there's
was
that The Dog Dies, or Does the Dog Die website. You can look up if there's a dog in a movie, you can go look up if the dog dies before you watch the movie.
Oh wow.
Because some people are very upset by that. Like, it's really, really bothersome to a lot of people. So there's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just really fascinated, and if she had never joined the film club, I would have never thought about, like,
is that Mini Monster?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so
tell her to let you know when the film club starts talking about David Lynch, because it's coming.
Okay.
There's no way it's not. It's coming.
Oh, I think that, yes, they are watching. They are watching.
Are they watching Eraserhead?
I don't know if they're watching Eraserhead or not.
Inland Empire. Those would be the ones I would think. Maybe Lost Highway. I can't imagine. Lost Highway is a little low level though.
I don't know. I will send her a message and ask her what.
Yeah, ask her which David Lynch she's watching. Because with him dying, that probably moved him up in the list too. Because if you're doing film stuff, you're going to run into David Lynch. But with him dying, they may have moved him closer to the front of the list than they might use him in normal years, you know?
Yeah.
Because there was a whole lot of talking about David Lynch and stuff going on, so that.
All right, message has been sent. It says that she is active, so we'll see what she says. So after having this conversation with her, I started thinking about it, and I was like, there have been so many different things that we have found like normal, and now it's like Elmer Fudd. You guys, we were having this. So Elmer Fudd walks around with a gun and has his speech impediment and is trying to hunt not Roger Rabbit,
Bugs Bunny and
Bugs Bunny. And now I'm just gonna start throwing all these different things in.
Whichever cartoon.
You know.
Who cares?
But just like when they disarmed Yosemite Sam, I would have never, I never in a million years would have thought, oh, I can't let my kid watch Elmer Fudd hunt the Dodie Wabbit, you know?
Oh, there
Um,
definitely were people who didn't let their kids watch that stuff.
right. No,
Like
no, but
even just the slapstick, like um Wile E. Coyote running into a wall. I had
yeah,
friends who weren't allowed to watch that.
but these are the things, this is what I'm talking about. Like I have to like constantly remind myself to be more sensitive, especially like when it comes to things like this and the genre that I write. Um, because I don't think that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that it really is part of our job as writers to be a little more consciously aware and
Uh-huh.
socially aware of what is going on. But I would have never had these thought processes or this time to sit and reflect on it if I hadn't had conversations with people who like you and I, we have great conversations, but we are
Hmm.
from two different
We come from very
universes.
different backgrounds. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
However, you are a part of my family now. We have known each other for years.
Right.
We have gone through a lot of things. And you have absolutely enriched my life by helping me see things from other
Yeah.
perspectives.
Yeah.
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 Um,
And I think if you are an emotionally healthy person,
uh-huh.
that is how you interact with people
Yeah.
who matter to you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of emotionally unhealthy people who are unaware of it. A lot of very emotionally unhealthy people who think that they're aces and the rest of us are busted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It's exhausting.
Yes, I know. I know.
Oh,
I was
Lord.
married to a couple of them.
Just did a little tour.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And
Oh,
now,
man.
now I'm just sitting here floating along in the ether, just trying to make sure that I am mentally healthy.
I mean, we'll leave a little wiggle room for the healthy word, but
Yes.
not totally busted. I'll go with.
Right. Right. When I like envision my soul, I look at it as one of those like Japanese bowls where they took the cracks and they filled them in with gold, and
Yeah.
so it makes them like this amazing work of art.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I'm not a broken, I'm not broken, but I definitely have those golden scars that show
Right.
off just how amazing I really am because I have survived so much bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine on his Twitch chat, and he didn't really understand what I was getting at, partly because it was in type, but that I'm like, I'm not a very good speaker, I'm not a very good writer. I'm working at getting better at editing because the editing is where the work is. Like that's where the hard part is. That's where all of the thinking about it happens. I don't,
Right,
I'm a discovery writer, so I don't think about my story while I'm writing it.
right.
I don't think about it until I'm editing it.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's
yeah.
just
It's it's intense. And well, like you don't ever have those moments where you're just like you have like an aha moment and you're like, "Oh, okay, I need to write this down because this is where the story is going to go." No.
mm-mm. No, if I'm
Yeah.
not writing, I'm not thinking about my story almost ever. That's why I don't
Uh-huh.
talk about it
Right.
because I don't actually know what I'm writing about most of the time.
I don't
I'm
like
not doing it.
talking. Yeah. I don't like talking about my stories because once I have said the words, they're gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if I know what's going to happen, I don't care anymore.
Right.
So if I wake up and have an aha moment, that story died.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
it's dead now. There's nothing I can do with it because I thought of it outside of when I was writing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, some of my best ideas have come like I'll be mopping the floor at work or whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I'll be back. 25 minutes. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's not.
yeah.
Nope.
Or like, I don't necessarily know if I've actually like officially had writer's block, but anytime I'm struggling to like come up with what the next thing is, I've noticed a lot of times like if I work on something not related whatsoever,
Mhm.
I'll have those aha moments. But like today, I'm like, well, do I edit this? Do I write something new? And then I'm like, I have all of these ideas about these new stories that I want to write, but then I'm like, until they like speak to me, I
Mhm.
can't start them. I know what I want to do. I know what the premise is. I
And I
don't.
think because of the way I write, that I've essentially trained my brain to not sort through those thoughts unless I'm sitting in front of the document.
Okay.
I don't access them. In fact, sometimes when I'm not writing, I can't remember what I am writing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like I'm so far detached from it consciously that my conscious brain doesn't really know it's there.
Huh. Hold on. She's like she's like I said, "Are you watching David Lynch movies soon?" She said, "What movie?" So then I'm going to ask her, "Are you going to watch any David Lynch movies?"
You might also want to say David Lynch is the director
Oh, okay.
because she might not know that yet, especially because she's kind of new to that world.
Right.
And David Lynch tends to fall into the corner of obscurity because he's so weird that he's very inaccessible to some people.
Yeah. She said, "Oh no, we already watched Eraserheads." Is
Oh, okay, yeah.
that what everybody is that like
Eraserhead, that's his first movie. That's the one that I went to bed the other night and Travis was watching it. And I, it was less weird than I remember, which really bothers me.
yeah.
Yeah, why was it less weird? Why was a woman in a radiator and that baby less weird? Ever. Why it should never be less weird. It's as weird as it can be.
Yeah, but you've like normalized yourself to David Lynch's madness.
Yeah, but I've only seen Eraserhead like 3 times. And I
Yeah.
hadn't seen it in probably 20 years.
She says this month, because of Valentine's Day, they're going to do some type of romance movie. Oh,
Well, it depends. True Romance is technically a romance movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's got Super Gary Oldman in it.
is it? I've never heard of it. True
It's a
romance.
I think Tarantino wrote it and then someone else directed it, if I remember.
Oh,
It's Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. It's from '93. Yeah, Tarantino wrote it and Tony Scott directed it. Dennis Hopper's in it, Christopher Walken's in it, Brad Pitt is in it briefly. But Gary Oldman is a drug dealer named Drexel, and it's my favorite Gary Oldman character.
oh wow.
Um, if you decide to go watch it, watch the director's cut.
Okay.
Um, you'll know you're in the director's cut, or you'll know you're not in the director's cut if Drexel never gets shot in the dick. So that's. I mean, there's other things. He wears a different jacket. I I used to really be into film.
Uh-huh.
I have pulled back on it some, partly because do you know how hard it is to be into film when your husband's a filmmaker? It's actually very hard.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah, because everybody just assumes that you don't know what you're talking about, and they'll talk to you like you're a fucking animal.
oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see. You're like, well, as a matter of fact.
yeah.
I'm
But we should
like,
do another sprint because it's been a long time.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, hey, we're staying on contact on contact. Let's do another sprint.
When the words stop coming out of our face, right, it's time for them to come out of our keyboards. So
That's right.
all right, 20-minute sprint and 3, 2, 1. Get your words or not, or whatever. That one's called Oh La La, so I guess it's supposed to be French. I don't know. How's everybody do? I broke 19K. I mean,
Hey, that's awesome.
yeah.
I thought maybe it was like Italian, like we were going into
I
like a
thought so too, but it's called Ooh La La, so
yeah, we're going
I think
into a
it's supposed to be
spaghetti
French.
joint to have a sit down or something.
I got 370.
I sent off an email, realized that I had to create an image to go with this short story that I'm working on for Medium. And then I also wrote down in my planner who I owe money to because uh
They're gonna want it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
a self-published means you got to pay somebody to do the things that you don't know how to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
I'm
tell
okay.
you, it did not hurt any that my husband publishes books. So that definitely helped my end of things.
Yeah,
In fact, I wasn't going to self-publish. I partly switched to self-publishing because Travis knew how to do this stuff. Because I was
right,
like, I'm not going to learn how to do all those things.
right.
But that was also at the period of time where I was like, Travis was doing film, so I wouldn't let him have cameras in our house. And if they were
Mm.
in our house, they had to be in a different place than I was.
A
So
little bit
like the cameras would be in a different room pointed at a wall.
okay,
And
because
now I have a YouTube channel.
I know I'm like, you're starting to sound a little paranoid, like
Mhm.
myself. Because that's I was completely anti-camera until I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start live streaming because
Yeah.
I found you guys on the YouTubes, and then I was like, and now I just don't care. Like I
Yeah.
totally drank the Kool-Aid for a little while about the whole
Not putting your face on the internet thing.
yeah, and the Alexa thing. I don't want to set
Oh.
yours off.
Oh
Yeah,
no, she's
like
not. I have my headphones on and she's not plugged
oh
in. So you're fine.
okay. Like I totally bought into that, and at first I was like, yeah, that's kind of bizarre, but now I'm like, you know what? Like we had a vendor come in the other night, and we were joking. I was like, I was signing for a delivery, and I was like, "Do you need my last name too?" And he was like, "Yeah, and your social security number." And I just off the cuff, I was like, well, I'll give it to you, but you're not getting anywhere on it. In fact, you might actually improve it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, same. I know. Yeah. I've had people hack my accounts and I've had them do all the things and they return
Bless you.
everything. They're like, man, I'm so sorry that you're in the situation that you're in. Let me leave you alone for a little
Right.
while. But yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
That's exciting though that you've passed the 19K part.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're at like 38 pages essentially.
Yeah,
Like 38 full pages. I'm about to move over to 39.
that's really cool.
So
The uh the short story that I wrote for the anthology, um, I think it ended up being like I want to say it was close to 20.
yeah.
Yeah. But so here's the thing, like I finished it for the anthology, but I left it kind of like a cliffhanger because I'm not entirely sure that I'm finished with it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that way, so they have the rights to it for 6 months after publication, and then after that, I can I
Mhm.
can publish it wherever I want. Um, and so I'm like, well, maybe I'll go ahead and extend it out a little bit more. So the people who are getting it in the anthology get a more than a sneak peek. They
Yeah.
get like yeah, they get like the first
I don't know why my thing keeps thinking I'm thumbs upping, but it keeps doing the little thing. Maybe
uh-huh.
it's my cigarette. I don't know. I don't know. Because when I do a thumbs up, it doesn't do it. But randomly,
Yeah.
Does it have to be my right hand?
I
I don't
don't.
know. It starts doing it and then stops. I don't know.
I haven't noticed it since the
It
last.
shows up on the bottom of my screen and slowly, because like it gives you a timer where you're doing it.
Uh-huh.
So like you have to do it for like 2 seconds or whatever. So it starts doing the little spinny thing like it's gonna pop it up, but it never finishes. So I don't know what's setting it off.
Oh,
Something's setting it off.
it's the ghosts who are trying to cook in your house.
Yes. Yes. I have upstairs neighbors now though. So at least now when I smell food, it's probably them. Something.
Right? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So that's at least a thing.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm like, maybe I will have to just, I mean, I've made fun of it so much. I'm just gonna have to be like ghost, ghost, spicy times. It's not good. That's not gonna be too far out of the realm though. I'm pretty sure I've probably read something.
I mean, uh in Ghostbusters, Sigourney Weaver fucks a ghost. No.
I thought he was a
Yeah.
demon.
Yeah, but then also Dan Aykroyd fucks a ghost too.
Yeah. Well, even
Yeah.
in
So and that's a comedy movie. So like
yeah, and
you could fuck a ghost.
Poltergeist, the mom's like laying in bed and she thinks her husband came in because the ghost is getting all handsy and
The mom gets impregnated by a ghost in American Horror Story,
yeah,
in the first series.
yeah, because
So
she gets impregnated. Oh
by
wait,
Tate.
yeah. Because I was like
Hmm.
Tate in the leather suit.
Yeah, sorry. Spoilers for a 15-year-old show.
Is it 15 years already?
Oh, I bet it has been.
Oh my God. Well, I got a thing on Facebook that was like, remember this day 8 years ago? And I was like, it can't possibly be 8 years.
14, 2011.
Jeez, man.
Yup, yup. Time
But
to be flying.
it's not just a matter of fucking a ghost. It's tasting whatever the ghost is offering.
I mean, if you can fuck a ghost, why can't you taste a ghost?
My ghost might taste like French toast.
French toast ghost. Lord Almighty.
Yeah.
All right.
I I am. I think I'm gonna make some oatmeal before I wander off into the sleep world and
Yeah, we only did 2 sprints, but that's okay. We got words.
yeah, and we had a nice conversation about
Yeah, we talked about
other
writing stuff mostly.
yeah, about other
Just
authors doing ridiculous things and
yeah. Well, I don't think that person. I think that person. I think author is one of the things that person uses as part of their shtick,
yeah,
but I don't think author is their primary function.
yeah.
I don't think if you're can fucking talk to ghosts that your primary function is being a writer, probably. And
Oh,
who the fuck am I? I'm not the boss. You do whatever you want, but I am going to make fun of you for it. So just be aware.
yeah, in a very lighthearted manner
Right.
of
Right.
making fun of it.
All
I'm like,
right. So let's do outros and then you can go get some food and get some sleeps.
yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, my name is Dana Gollin. This is my YouTube channel, unless you're watching over on Sarah's Twitch. You can find me here. You can find me at medium.com at Ava Fox 301. Yeah, I write spicy stuff, and most people seem to really like my spicy stuff. And yeah, that's it. That's all
All
I
right.
got.
And I'm Sarah Scharnober, and this is my Twitch channel. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, this is Dana's channel. Don't forget to subscribe to her or follow me on Twitch or both. And then I do release writing videos on my YouTube channel, which is Wordsmith Sarah Writes, on Sundays. And then these get uploaded and onto my YouTube like a week and a half after they've streamed. And then they will become unlisted after a couple weeks because I don't need my thing filled up with VODs. So yeah, but I am here on Twitch Thursday and Friday nights playing video games and Saturday mornings doing this thing. And I'm in all kinds of places. My link tree is down below, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Yep.
So bye.
Bye. I think that
All right, are you
I think
done?
it's done.
Because mine, I have my